Well, Jeff writes, Season 1 of Buck Rogers went out on a relative high. Our old friends the Draconians are back. There's a big spaceship fight. Exploitation movie legends... Legend.
A legend in their own bath time.
Yeah. Sid Haig. And there's even a classic Batman villain as a special guest star again. It was really fun, if obvious, a spin to have our heroes to team up with the bad guys. Yeah? The story's fairly ambitious too, with an advanced alien race giving the Terrans the means to navigate wormholes and explore a new universe. Well, at least it was far less dumb than electricity being a thing of the past. Yeah. My favourite scene of the entire story is in part 1 with a touching farewell between Buck and Dr. Colin Hewer. Tim O'Connor really sells a sense of wistfulness and genuine friendship, and he's really been the unsung hero of this series.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that beautiful scene is followed by the worst thing I have ever seen. Erin Gray's acting was fine, but the words the writers put in her mouth were pure trash. You finally made me feel like a woman. Utter bilge. And a total disservice to the character and even the concept of womanhood. Fortunately, Wilma actually got to participate this time, which helped ease the pain of the earlier transgression. In fact, everybody got something to do. Well, except for poor Panther Man, but he did had a great dash. Julie Newmar was fantastic, playing right up to the edge of full-on pantomime. I especially enjoyed her interaction with and subsequent verbal evisceration of Princess Ardala.
Yes, that was good.
Maybe the bar had been set very low by the mediocre run of recent episodes, but this one was a blast. Thanks again for the great podcast. I'm very intrigued by the tease of the upcoming specials.
Yes. Glad you enjoyed it, Jeff. All right. We also just had a quick message from Doreen to say that she enjoyed the story. Unfortunately, she's not very well at the moment. So
get well soon, Doreen.
Get well soon, Doreen.
What did Drew and Tracy make of this?
Hello, it's feedback for Flight of the War Witch.
And what do we think of that one then?
Well, we was discussing it through in the episode. It was pretty boring.
That was boring-tastic.
It was a bit of an endurance to watch, I think. It just seemed to go on for... I know it's a double episode. Yeah, it was just boring, to be honest.
I really felt like sorry to cut you, but there was a couple of occasions where we were like, oh, look at the effects on this, and oh, look at that, and I really felt like they'd spent the last of their budget on the effects and not the script writer, because the story in effect was just blando.
Yeah, maybe they should have tried to make it just a one episode one. There just seemed to be so much padding, so much like little cut scenes of stuff going on.
And what was the bit at the beginning where Buck is on the ship with his totty, and then they say they found like a sphere on the planet.
Yeah.
And then when they all come down to investigate it, Deering's making reference.
Yeah, she said something about
a saucer.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck was that about? And we were like, what? Did we miss something there?
No, I don't know. It's just, you know, the witch character wasn't very good. She's another
Snow
female.
White's, evil stepmom.
Another evil female that has got the hots for Buck. It's just...
It was getting a bit like stale, wasn't it? And like that, Spiro's is like evil fingers. You know, he's got the hands. Just what?
Yeah, disappointing end to the series, unfortunately.
So they brought in Panther Man.
Season 1. Panther Man, yeah, we
got rid of Tiger
him.
Man.
Yeah.
We liked the fact that he was wearing a nappy.
He did look like
a black plastic nappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to talk about Serena. She was a strange looking lady, wasn't she?
Yeah,
she really looked like she'd had too much kind of plastic surgery
in like the 80s, but maybe I don't know.
She really reminded me of like Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, I can see that definitely.
I just couldn't kind of get off that transfixion.
Yeah, so that's that really. I think boring end to the season 1.
Yeah, I was really looking. I mean, at the beginning, we got to talk about this. At the beginning, like they're really dramatic because, like, you know, Wilma's crying because she thinks she's never going to see Buck again, and it's like. You know, we was like, but there's a season 2, so we know he doesn't die. But I did say to you at the time, I wonder if like they didn't know that there was going to be a season 2, so they were all thinking that this was the end. It was just bizarre. I mean, she was very, you know, you've meant so much to me, and you've changed me. Well, come on.
Yep.
It was just a bit daft, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was just weird, this whole episode. Anyway, I haven't really got much more to say on
No,
that.
me neither.
Shall we leave it there then?
Okie dokie.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I was confused by the saucer as well. At what point did it ever look like a saucer?
It never looked like a saucer. Yeah. Yeah.
Evil fingers.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better as a one-parter,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't have had so many effects, undoubtedly. They were pushing the boat out by making it a two-parter, but that led to padding, so... Yeah, you win some, you lose some, I guess. But I thought it was all right. I mean, it's certainly, it was very formulaic, wasn't it? So,
Yes, just a tad.
yes, evil fingers. For now. And we've heard from Parry.
Hello, Args. Parry here to talk about Flight of the War Witch. Now, this wasn't bad. I think they were going for a big season finale thing. The problem is that there has been this marked drop in quality in this latter half of the season. If I'm honest, I actually think if this had been compressed into a single part, it would have been a pretty decent episode. Okay, it still had the issues of, for some reason, Buck now teams up with Tweaky more than he teams up with Wilma. Not going to stop being sore about that. But the gist of them having to go to a whole other dimension to fight off a different foe with some new spaceships wasn't a bad idea, and actually having them team up with the Draconians sort of in an uneasy alliance worked quite well as well. We had Princess Jardala again in all her spangly glory, particularly with weird bikinis, and that when she was dressing up to do her professional I'm going to talk to a leader woman to woman thing, that kind of very odd kind of navy blue, I said it was a bluey purple. I used to have a Renault Clio that colour, but in that kind of weird outfit with the big silver gloves. And again, there was some sort of character for her there in the War Witch saying, no, you just inherited your position, I earned everything, which was quite a nice bit of character work for the two of them, even if she kind of went into kind of tears afterwards, because, Buck, I'm not okay, and am I nice, kind of thing. You did feel it when Buck was taken away, he's going, please, anything, torture, whatever, just don't put me back in that cell with those two, because the other guy was kind of moping around as well. I think my issue with it was it dragged so often. There were so many periods which were, like at the start when they found the weird orb with the message, there was so much of just them kind of wondering about this orb and looking at stuff and doing tests and preparing to go, and when Buck was going through kind of the void and all sort of holding it together, keep steady, Iona started talking about that was what he says during sex, so that's tainted that forever. But yeah, I think that was kind of the issue, was it did seem like a single episode story padded out into two parts, so there were an awful lot of points where people just kind of milled about for a bit. Again, the War Witch, did she have to fall in love with Buck or fancy him in any way? It's really getting a bit tedious that literally every woman, good or evil, has a thing for Buck Rogers. He's a nice enough looking chap, but he's definitely not all that. And yeah, I think that was it. I think this one just dragged. There were so many points with them walking around gardens. I think they were trying for the opulence and to have this kind of big, impressive looking episode, but I don't think it really worked out. And that robot, good God, the robot with the arms that were literally made of pipes, like as in things that I can see under my sink pipes. I was impressed because for ages I thought those arms don't move at all, but finally at the end of the episode they did, although one arm had to move for the other to move, so it was just, that was a bin with some pipes stuck to it. It's even for this Buck Rogers series, that was a particularly rubbish robot. So yeah, I mean, it's not ending on a damp squib. I think they really tried to make a big bombastic end to the show. And again, there's always some nice bits. Dr. Hugh is always good. I think genuinely Tim O'Connor, when he was given his thing of wanting to explore, he does kind of slightly wistful really, really well, and I wish we'd see more of that in the series. As a quick kind of review of Season 1, now that we're at the end of Season 1, and unless that's Season 2, is that Season 2 Disco Got? Is that a hallucination? Are we at the end of Buck Rogers? No? No. then I actually thought the first few episodes, probably up until Plot to Kill a City, were usually entertaining. Like, so you'll never call this quality television, but it was fun. And there was a lot of surprise. Again, it was more that Wilma got a lot to do, that it wasn't all about Buck. And then the series seemed to take a left turn around about Space Vampire, maybe a bit before. And all of a sudden, like, the quality, such as it was, dropped off. So, yeah, it's been an interesting revisit for the first season. But still, hopefully they've taken our advice on board and improved things for the second season. So, all that remains to say is do keep up the good work. And I will look forward to looking at the second season with you. No, really, honest, look forward. I don't believe my DVD's cursed at all. But until that time, bye for now.
It's been so long ago since I've seen the second season, I don't remember much of it. But on the upside, you know how this season's been so formulaic? We're following the same patterns for most stories. They do depart from that.
Yeah,
Where
but
they
not
go
in
to
a good
isn't
way.
Not necessarily better, though.
It involves cardigans.
Yeah, well, yeah, for one of the characters, we lose Dr. Hugh. I embrace
Yeah.
him for that now, and it doesn't. They don't replace him with somebody better by a long way.
No, and
Also-
I'm not revealing the main spoiler because I just want people who don't know to watch that first episode, and I want to hear all the what the fucks from everybody.
Right? Yes. We're thinking of the same thing.
Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah, a character.
Yeah.
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 But it's mercifully shortened the first season, so you grit your teeth and get through it, and take your pain.
I don't know. If you've had alcohol, I remember enjoying quite a bit of it, but I
Yeah.
think laughing at it, not with it.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Which, to be fair, has been a lot of this season as well.
Yeah.
So yes, your plumbing robot did indeed suck, and
Yes.
yeah, generally when they've managed cheese, it's been entertaining. I did the sort of episodes at springtime. I did like Space Vampire. I know some people didn't, but I thought that was wonderfully.
I
silly.
like the disco one.
The disco one was possibly the high, despite the fact it was quite late in the run. That was quite a high.
That
point.
was a good one, and the one with the nonsensical dancing with the podiums and things. That was quite early on.
Yes, well, I couldn't tell you which episode that is though. I mean, that was just a scene that sticks in the mind rather
That's
than.
true.
Than an
I
episode.
seem to remember enjoying Plot to Kill a City.
Yeah, no, that's a good one because it's got some interesting characters in it that are well played. One's kind of taking it seriously, but it kind of works. I think that's the episode that sticks in my mind from season one the most, is just because that sort of works as a piece of sci-fi. But yeah, Space Rockers is probably actually my favourite now. Oh dear.
I would think so, and I think the worst one for me was probably the really shit New Year's episode with Gary Coleman.
That was the clip show. Was that the clip show one? Yes, that was the clip show one, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that was the worst. But then clip show ones always are, let's face it. Yeah. Okay. I don't think season 2's long enough for a clip show, at least. So we've got that. It's got that going for it.
Yeah.
But yes, we now take not quite a complete break for a couple of months, but because we're covering Picard over on our other Borgcast podcast, we don't have time, because that's a weekly thing, to be doing Galactica as well. But we do hope to have a couple of specials up, so there'll be at least something dropping at least once a month for the next 2 months. But no teasers as to what that's going to be. No. And there will be the traditional Easter special, which will be on this feed as well this time round. The Christmas one was on the Trek one, but you could probably work out what film we're covering that if you listen to the Christmas special. And then, we in a couple of months' time, we start on season 2 of Buck Rogers.
Whatever the episode itself is like, I can't wait to see Sprog 2's face. And B, I am just so looking forward to people's feedback on that first episode. Has Doreen got season 2?
I can't remember if they have or not. And I'm not sure. I think we ought to be merciful and not send a season 2 if she hasn't got it.
Okay.
I think that's too mean.
Okay, fair enough.
Time of the Hawk.
Yeah.
And that might be a double length one as well, but we'll cover it all, all as
We'll
one.
cover it in one, whatever. Yeah. You don't want to drag that out.
Thank you to everybody who's joined us on this voyage.
Yes.
Special thank you to those who fed back as well. It's always great to hear other people's views. There's been quite a spectrum, I think it's fair to say. At the one end, we've had Drew and Tracy, I think, and at the other, I think Jeff's been the most positive throughout.
Yeah,
actually.
I think so.
But Pineman's mostly enjoyed it as well, I think.
Yeah.
And Sampo and Yona of how this translates to other shores is an interesting one, isn't it? So yeah.
Oh, I don't know whether Sampo and Yona have got access to season 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Hope they do. I do hope they do, because I'd be interested to see what they make of that as well.
Yes.
And Doreen, of course, has enjoyed some and not others, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, whether you enjoyed it or not, hopefully you enjoyed the ride listening to our Daft podcast.
Yes.
And,
it's very silly.
We'll be with you in a few weeks' time for a little special something.
Yes.
Cheerio, bye.
Bye, bye.